Yes, you guys, welcome back. Tonight, we saw Thomas Tuchel take control in his first game since he became our new manager. And how did he perform in this game today? I think if we were to keep things real and honest and fair, you can't really hold Tuchel to accountability for this game because, he's only had one training session with the team. And based on Tuchel's comments before the game, he prioritised a more experienced lineup today, a safer lineup, which makes a ton of sense because with Tuchel, I can imagine that he is assessing the team right now. He wants to look at the players. He wants to see how they perform in his system and, just understand his team a lot more. My thing is, what would he have learned from this game today? I think he would have learned things that us fans have been seeing for a very long time from certain players and individuals. This match review, I feel like because I didn't really learn anything about Tuchel's system because, he's had no time to do anything, I'm going to have to address some of the players today because, of course, new management has come in. And normally in football, especially in the Premier League, when a new manager comes, you see players looking hungry, looking fierce, looking ready because everything becomes reset. It becomes an opportunity to win favour with the new management, find some form again, to regain confidence and to, of course, force yourself back into the first team. However, if Tuchel was to rely upon Jorginho and Kovacic throughout the season, he might find himself in a little bit of a pickle. I feel like immediately I'm going to address these guys off the bat. Now, before I continue on, today's video is brought to you by OneFootball, and I'm going to discuss the lineup we saw today. Now, no surprise that OneFootball don't have the most accurate lineup. Well, accurate in the sense that when we attacked on the ball, it became a 4-2-3-1. But of course, it got leaks that we were going to use a back three with HUDSON ODOI playing as a wing back. So, yeah, quite interesting. I wonder if the Wolves found out. I'm sure they probably did. But, the principles, the ideas were interesting. Seeing Havertz and Ziyech just like roaming between the lines, not really getting the service we were hoping to get. And honestly, like the combination play between Ziyech and HUDSON ODOI down the right, that was like our main threat throughout the game today. But of course, this lineup is going to continue to evolve because Tuchel, he has that fluidity, he's got that flexibility in formations, which is a trend that all the modern managers do possess. So I'm looking forward to seeing what other lineups and formations we are going to use as the season goes on. Anyway, you guys, download OneFootball. It's in the link in the description below. So many useful, handy features straight after the game. Honestly, it's the best companion app to have. And to continue on with the review, I look at Kova and I look at George, and as I've been saying, and as Lampard said before previously, it was that cup final game against Arsenal where I felt like we should have beat them. We started that game amazingly well, and we get the early goal and you're thinking, yes, we're going to get this win against Arsenal. But after about 15 minutes, the sideways passes came, the slow tempo came, there was no passing between the lines, no line breaking passes, no forward passes, no nothing. And it kind of felt a bit similar in this game today because when they first started, I saw Jorginho winning a 1v1. And I know everyone's like, yes, he won a 1v1, but the reality still is you expect more from a midfield player for a top 4 team in general playing in midfield. I think it was the same thing for Kovacic as well. He started and yeah, he looks a bit hungrier. He was pressing, I guess, showing more effort, but then similar to that Arsenal FA Cup final, after about 15 minutes, it was just the sideways passing show, you guys. As the game was going on, I was seeing absolute madness. I was seeing literally Jorginho and Kova, 15 yards away from each other. Not even playing passes quickly to each other, just slow, sideways, boring passes. And if you're a Wolves team, if you're any team that actually emphasizes and focuses on the low blocks, defending deep, keeping your shape at the back, these are the perfect midfielder position you want because you never have to worry about being penetrated behind, about runs in behind. They play in front of you, meaning that you can keep your shape and just obviously follow runners and, block out the passing lanes and passing channels. And, with Tuchel's football, because again, guys like him, Lampard, Rose, all these modern guys, there is an emphasis on playing quickly, on playing between the lines, etc., etc. And I don't know, I just feel like we've seen a bottleneck in this midfield and Jorginho and Kova because there isn't enough in their game to really do much, in my personal opinion. I understand the context for this game tonight though, because As Tuchel said, I'm going to say it again, he wanted to, focus on more experienced teams today. And maybe if I was to give one slight criticism, which obviously I'm not using against him, Tuchel, we're going to learn a lot more. We didn't learn anything about him today. But maybe he emphasized a bit too much on the older experience instead of just going for the quality players. I felt like that team could have done with the Mason Mount in midfield, playing quickly between the lines. Because the thing is, when you have slow sideways passes, the attacking players suffer. And, it's normally a criticism that normally comes out about the style of our football whenever these guys are playing together, or one of them is playing together. And as I was seeing too, I was seeing Ziyech and Kai Havertz having to drop deeper a lot of times, and whenever they did, that was the only times we were able to penetrate Wolves' midfield lines. Yeah, I'm going to keep saying it and saying it and saying it, but they are a bottleneck because they prevent you from playing quick. They prevent you from finding players to make forward runs. And, I think one player that really suffered from that tonight was Kai Havertz. Now, one thing I like about Kai that I constantly do all the time, I just like seeing the runs he makes off the ball, because Kai knows how to move this guy. He knows how to move elegantly in between the lines, find spaces, find opportunities, create the overloads against the oppositions, and create space for himself for shots, etc., etc. And I looked at his body language, I looked at him today, and there was that frustration when he made a good run or he found himself in space and he didn't get the service quickly enough. And you have to realize, if you want to break down a team that defends deep, you have to play a lot of quick switch balls. You have to play the ball off the ground a lot. Not on the floor with no pace, no intensity, really slow. Because in the Premier League especially, you make it very easy for teams to defend against. So it's going to be interesting to see what Tuchel observe. I'm looking forward to hearing his comments after the game too, and seeing what he does, because Tuchel is not going to risk his career on a midfield of these guys at all. That won't be happening, and it'll be interesting to see how he reacts as this game goes on. Of course, we can continue on, and I think one of the standout things that dominated the game today was Callum wingback Odoi. Was I offended by seeing Callum playing as a wingback? Not necessarily, because it was how the system was being played. It was quite asymmetric in a sense. It kind of reminded me of Conte a little bit at times too, where of course Azpilicueta was allowed the license, obviously pushed forward as well, kind of creating like a 4-2-3-1 whenever we were attacking, and then Callum was using his pace in behind and playing some really dangerous passes and crosses. His combination play with Ziyech, I like how these guys have been playing throughout the entire season, preferably, and I'm thinking this will be the case too with Tuchel once he works with these guys a lot more. I want to see Callum on the left-hand side, and I want to see him and Ziyech just switching play, because I kind of think that you have to do that if you are going to use, or whenever you have to rely upon like a cover or Georgia midfield. You need some type of speed of play, honestly. And Hudson Odoi today, we've seen the improvements in his game. That one particular moment though, I think the best thing he did was actually that defensive play right at the end, where Wolves actually created a really good counter-attack, an amazing first-time pass by Neves. A pass I don't think Jorginho or Kovac could ever play. And it was Hudson Odoi who was ready, he was prepared, he was alert. He tracked back and prevented what could have possibly been an opportunity for Wolves. So again, his application this season, his desire, his professionalism, his ability to work for the team, the guy could become a very complete player. Still though, I want to bring up that point though about maybe relying a bit too much on experience, because experience doesn't necessarily equal quality. I think that's the reality. There was a few times when Wolves were breaking on the counter-attack, it was a cover missing a 1v1, or with Jorginho doing that. And obviously for the big clubs at the levels, midfielders never mess up like that. They win that tackle, they crunch, and they win possession back, and they stop those opportunities. I'm going to keep saying it, Cover and George, you don't win titles with these guys. And I know that Tuchel he's going to know this. And you can bet your bottom dollar, if he can make it until the end of the season, when he can have a window to work in, there are going to be changes in midfield for sure. So, again, it does bring up more interesting questions though, because in a sense, we got the draw against Wolves, which was only 1 point, and every time we don't get 3 points, there is more pressure on us to secure a UCL spot. And of course, you know, because Tuchel, the only thing he could do was use this game as an opportunity to, you know, see the squad, because he's only had less than 24 hours with these guys. Less than 24 hours. 6 p.m. last night, he was training with them. So I wasn't expecting a miracle. I wasn't expecting too much, because what could you do? So in a sense, it gets me thinking the club. I mean, if you knew Lampard was definitely out from the Leicester game, why not sack him earlier? And yeah, I know I sound harsh, but I mean, on a real one, why not do that? So Tuchel at least had more time to work with the team, see these guys, and, you know, be ready for the Prem game against Wolves. Because I don't know, it just felt like, because Wolves, who are also on really bad form themselves, the only thing they were going to do today was defend, because, you know, they need to pick up some form themselves. So to have like a back 3-2, I felt like it was overkill in a sense. We could have done with another player in midfield, just adding more purpose to our passing and our play. I find it quite funny that a lot of times the forward passes was coming from guys in defence, Silva or Azpilicueta. Not much from Rudiger though, which was surprising. And I think if there was more quality in the team and you got Reece James, imagine Reece playing in that Aspi role tonight, where he could move in midfield and you know he's going to switch the ball to the opposite side. He's going to add more purpose in the play, and of course combined with Callum and just putting some excellent crosses too, he would have made a big difference playing tonight. I think Mason Mount too, he's been adding purpose to everything this season, taking responsibility, accountability, and even that little 10-minute cameo he had, we could see that injection of pace and tempo in the game. And Tuchel is not an idiot, I do know that, and I feel confident that he is going to be using these guys as time goes on. But, you know, maybe he's going to be surprised to see just how ineffective Cover and George can be. Yeah, it was a bit interesting, you guys. It's one of them ones where I'm sure there's going to be a ton of like tactical analysis videos out on YouTube about this game, but it kind of feels like there's no point really, because this was not a reflection of Tuchel at all. This really wasn't. This is a guy who's just come in at a crazy time out of nowhere, and really the best thing he could do was just, you know, be a lot more pragmatic and just focus on not losing. I think that is the most important thing. If you want to build the confidence in the team, focusing on not losing, not doing anything too mad is the only thing an intelligent manager like Tuchel could do. But it does seem like now there's a period of games where, you know, there's more time to test the system before that big game against Spurs. You know, interesting seeing the wing-back system today, but I don't know. I think that, again, I can't really judge because it's my first time seeing it, and these guys didn't execute how I'm sure Tuchel wanted. So I guess to give my conclusion, all I can say is we have to have more time, more patience. I think things I've been saying throughout the season anyway, to be honest, and it's going to apply to Thomas Tuchel, because you guys know I only have to talk about football objectively. And, you know, Tuchel, I know he's got ideas, he's got plans, and I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to bring and add to the team. But you guys, on that note, I'm the FC, this is Blue Lines TV. This was a game that Tuchel had to take us sideways in before he takes us forwards as the season goes on. I'll catch you guys later with some more videos.